morning and welcome to Province Day, November 6, 2021. I am Maria Zelmer. I'm Province Officer for Epsilon A, Region 3, and I live in Brookfield, Wisconsin. Thank you so much to the Madison Alum Chapter for being our host to this morning, and to President Martha Stoner and all the people who have put this wonderful day together. We are really looking forward to it. And I would also like to welcome you, Milwaukee Alum Chapter, and to Rho Chapter, and to Theta Iota Chapter, and to Xi Chapter. We are so glad to see everyone here today. We thought we were going to be together, but just within the last few weeks, it got changed to Zoom again. So here we are, and we're still going to have a most interesting experience. This Province Day, Madison Alum Chapter has chosen the theme Collegium Brevis Alumnae Longa. This is a popular and continuing theme from year to year, which sustains our fraternity's efficacy. It is how our fraternity has survived for 120 years to do the mission of support for women in music and service projects around the world. Each year at Province Day, we gather our chapters together to enjoy music, learn new things, and renew our sisterhood. In preparation for today, I look back at the 7 Province Days and 1 national convention to examine the themes that have been put forward since I have become province officer. This year the theme is Collegium Brevis Alumnae Longa, and I would like to come back to this theme in a minute. But first, I'd like to remember last year, in 2020, our first Zoom Province Day, brilliantly facilitated by Xi Chapter. We did not know what to expect, but what a fantastic experience. The theme was Building Sound Communities. We heard how important it is to unify and form communities that build people up and gather them together for support and security. Our SAI community is made of women in music for women in music. 2 years ago, we were at Platteville, Theta Iota Chapter hosting. Their theme was Changing the World One Note at a Time. We saw how women professionals have become so well known throughout the world in conducting, composing, performing, and education. Additionally, there was some attention to community, although not exactly in those words. 3 years ago, Rho Chapter hosted us in Madison with the theme Music and Health. 2 professionals in music therapy were the main speakers and gave us the opportunity to participate in an elementary music therapy session. And then Julia Rotmayer, vocal therapist, had a session with vocal health with questions and answers. Julia is now a co-advisor to Rho Chapter. In 2017-18, who remembers coming through the snow to my house? There was a change of location at the last minute, and Milwaukee Alum Chapter brought everything to my house, where we had a great discussion on their chosen theme, When You Look for Dreams in Real Life, Where Do You Go? With a great question and answer forum for professional life as a music teacher, composer, performer, etc. We traveled to Appleton the year before that, 2016-17, where Xi Chapter was hosting and celebrating their 100th charter anniversary. The theme was Empowering Women in Music. The speaker looked back at the assigned character roles to women in some great opera classics. Also, there was a presentation on prominent women composers from many ethnic backgrounds. 2016-17 was my first year as province officer. Madison Alum Chapter hosted us, and we discussed many ways about sisterhood and beyond, and how SAI has been such a wonderful lifelong experience for each of us. SAI has been a constant source of encouragement, pursuit, scholarship, leadership, and most especially, a way that each of us together can advance women in each area of music. For many of us, this is the reason each of us decided to become members of our cherished sisterhood. Every year there is another theme, and everything we mentioned in the last 7 years is an inspiration and a new pursuit for our sisters to consider. And here they are: community, uplifting professional women, both in performance and education, how SAI has inspired us in our adult lives to strive for wisdom, excellence, and skill. Go to our sisters to get assistance about scholarship, job mentoring, and how we have maintained our friendships and sisterhood throughout our adult lives. Now I am going to speak for a minute about the upcoming issues the National Executive Board of Sigma Alpha Iota are proposing for a major change in the bylaws of our organization. Among these changes, the National Executive Board is asking the members to consider our specific changes regarding the gender description qualifications for membership. As we are striving for unity among our SAI sisters, we will need to discuss carefully and thoughtfully about the future and the purpose of Sigma Alpha Iota as an organization. As province officer, I believe it is my opportunity and my duty to speak to the issue of voting for changes in these bylaws. This is important now to be considered as our sisterhood moves forward. As your province officer, I believe that it is appropriate to bring some thoughtful considerations about the bylaw changes that are being proposed, not to ignore it at this province day, not to keep silent and quiet, and not to be afraid to speak about this. Will these proposed changes make the sisterhood of SAI better as an organization which advocates for women in music, or change it in a way that may end up diminishing the very organization that has done such a tremendous amount of good for women in music? Or will it make any difference? In the past, we have seen the SAI pledge and also the name of the organization be changed. Sigma Alpha Iota Professional Music Fraternity for Women was the name of this organization when I was initiated. It was changed to Sigma Alpha Iota Music Fraternity for Women, and now it is Sigma Alpha Iota Music Fraternity. Requirements for membership have also changed with the name changes, so that interested women, college students, need not be music majors or minors, but must take at least one music class and have a desire to promote the mission of SAI to be qualified for membership. As I am aware, the name changes and membership changes were made for legal requirements to remain an all-woman membership organization and for tax purpose of the 301c status. Now, as I look back at the 7 years of Province Day themes, there seems to be a pattern that has become obvious. 4 themes have been sisterhood and beyond, music therapy as a profession, philanthropies, and professional mentoring and referrals in real life job situations. These four titles and themes put forth SAI as an organization whose members join together to support women musicians in community, financially, and in professionally and also personally, locally, nationally, and also in their international pursuits. And the second grouping by theme is building sound communities, empowering women in music, changing the world one note at a time. These seem to seek changing first the social status of women and then support women in music professionally, etc. After that, here are some questions I would like to ask each of you. I ask you collegiate members to consider honestly what will be your future participation in Sigma Alpha Iota? What is your personal intention after you graduate? Will you be seeking higher level of education? Will you immediately join an alum chapter or say, oh, I intend to do that later in my life, or perhaps not at all? Will you raise money for scholarships year after year? Will you participate in Sigma Alpha Iota support of women in music? Will you participate in a service project chosen year after year? Will you attend your sisters' concerts and recitals? And I ask you, alum members, what has been your overall experience as a collegiate member of SAI and an alum member of SAI? Has this been positive or not? Has being involved in performance, academia, scholarship been satisfying to you throughout your membership as an SAI? Have you been supported by your SAI sisters personally and professionally? Have you felt that SAI as an organization known nationally has been worthy and inspired you to give to support other women in musical pursuits? Now you are being asked to vote on changes proposed by the National Executive Board. Here are the four categories which will require a vote. Each chapter has been sent the National Executive Board proposals of bylaw changes, and you will vote by each chapter on each section. The first category highlighted in yellow are simple legalese. All of these changes were recommended by the SAI attorney, so minimum questions and controversy should arise. The second group to be discussed is grammar, spelling, and housekeeping, highlighted in bright green. This category changes all pronouns to neutral persons and removes all references to women, she, and her. I have a question. If we are an organization that advocates and supports women in music, then why would all references to women, she, and her be removed from the bylaws? I have noted that President Leslie Odom Miller writes in her cover letter that Sigma Alpha Iota membership will not be open to men at this time. The third category deals with the clarification of levels of membership, extension to new chapters, and other officer duty clarifications. They are identified by blue highlights. And the fourth category deals with membership eligibility, specifically including into the bylaws the language identifying other gender descriptions, which are being used popularly to specify different categories of genders for women This language addresses the woman who wishes to be identified in categories of non-original sexual identity. And these alternate descriptions of sexual identity are listed as proposed official bylaw changes for membership qualification. These changes are identified with pink highlights. SAI women have always striven for values of wisdom, excellence, and skill in our organization. May I suggest truth be added to this list of values as the direction and purpose of SAI is now being decided. At each chapter in Epsilon A Region 3 considers the vote of the bylaws, let us ask for wisdom to see truth in our world. There are basic truths that should be obvious and yet seem to be in question in modern culture. These are wishes and expectations, but then there is reality. I encourage you to deal in truth and reality and how reality can foster the future of music in the organization of Sigma Alpha Iota. There are many organizations in your community that support music and the arts. Many of us are members of one or two or more of them. A few are opera, symphony, choral, piano arts, organ society, flute society, lesson scholarship, and ethnic and cultural music groups. But none of these other organizations are devoted or established or specifically organized to support women in all areas of music, such as Sigma Alpha Iota has been. As province officer, I have brought up these proposed changes to SAI bylaws as a starting place for your own discussions within your own chapters. Be honest about conventional wisdom and truth. Be honest about how SAI has served you in the past and will serve you in the future. Be honest about your own intention to be involved in SAI now and in the future. I will be very happy to discuss these proposals with any of you, and I will be very glad to send a copy of these remarks to anyone in the chapter who contacts me. Now, I want to bring our thoughts back to today, our own province day, Collegium Brevis Alumnae Longa. Madison Alum Chapter has planned a very full and interesting day for us. I am especially looking forward to our two presenters. This morning, Dr. Joanne Irwin will speak about the strings method she helped develop. And also this afternoon, keynote speaker Heidi Frankson, who is the national chairman of SAI Philanthropies Incorporated. She will describe many of the areas which SAI facilitates. Welcome to Heidi and to Joanne. By the way, Madison alum member Sandy Erickson sat on the Philanthropies board for several years. Sandy is also a former province officer, as is Martha Stoner, Madison alum, and also Peggy Walters, member of Madison alum. One of the most exciting events today will be the recognition of Row's 100th chapter affiliation. We are looking forward to Abigail's report on Row history. Xi chapter celebrated their 100th chapter anniversary 7 years ago. So I guess that makes you, Theta Iota, the youngest. And you know what is said about the youngest in the family. We are looking forward to celebrating with you one day too. I would also like to extend greetings at this time to the head of the Department of Music at UW-Madison, Dr. Susan Cook, and to the advisors of Rowe Chapter, Paul Rowe and Dr. Julia Rottmeyer. Greetings to the head of the Department of Music at UW-Platteville, Dr. Laura Anderson, and to Theta Iota's advisors, Dr. Matt Gregg, Dr. Heather Huckleby, and to Professor Terry Lewis. And also greetings to the head of the Department of Music at Lawrence University, Dr. Brian Pirtle, and to Zai's advisors, Professor Catherine Walby and Professor Nora Lewis. Sigma Alpha is so grateful to all of you for your support and assistance to the college chapters on your campuses. This is very exciting. Congratulations to National Summer Scholarship winners Marissa Lake and Grace Halloran, both from Epsilon A Region 3 and both from Xi Chapter. I hope to hear soon from them what summer programs they will be attending. Wow. Their awards were announced in the last edition of Panpipes. And most of all, thanks to you all who are Zooming to our annual Province Day. If you have not already planned to attend the National Convention next summer in Charlotte, North Carolina, the theme is Music is Our Call. Do this right away. Chapters need to make arrangements for their delegates, for travel arrangements, and for all who will be participating. I can tell you it is the experience of a lifetime, and you will never, never forget 2,000 sisters singing the SAI chorale. Now, I thank you for listening to me this morning, and I would like to turn this program back over to Madison Alum Chapter, Martha Stoner, and I hope that we will be together for the whole day, all of us, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Goodbye.